Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Happy, happy Thursday. I am glad that you decided to join me this Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. So, listen, I have a hot topic today. No, no, but I have a question for you. But before I get to the question, I hope that everyone is preparing for the next season ahead, 2022. I hope that in the next 29, almost 28 days, that you put away all your fears, all your worries, and begin to just operate without fear, operate without all of your emotions being bottled up, mixed up, spinned all around, and just exuding from you and having you feel like you're all over the place. I really, really hope that the season ahead will allow you to do that. So, I am Chantel Branch, your domestic violence specialist, educating individuals on why their decision to remain silent keeps them locked in abuse. I am the founder of My Fearless Future Project, best known as MFF Project, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast on Facebook as well as YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am hosting today's podcast, the Identity of a Woman podcast. Today's title is Fear is Not Welcome. And I don't know about you, but in the next 28 ish days, I want to make sure, and I'm actively and strategically planning out my entire year. And I know some people are excellent at doing this, some people are just okay, and some people live from day to day. But I'm actively and strategically working with my mentor so that I can operate at my full capacity, so that I can be my best self, and so that I can show up every Thursday giving good, valuable information, having wonderful guests on the show. I know we have a great time every time we have guests on our show, and the conversations and the discussions are so organic, but they are necessary to open up the dialogue in our communities and pull back the sheets on some of the things and the hidden areas in our lives, especially us as women of color, as minority women who live with stigmas, who live with limitations, who live with, pains and anger and traumas, unresolved traumas. And I want to help you get the help that you need so that you can plan the year of you, so that you can operate at your most authentic and be your most ultimate self. You want to be your best self when you show up every day, and not just for work, not just for your children, not just for your husband, but when you wake up, you want to show up for yourself. What does that really look like? And so that is one of the things that Identity of a Woman podcast does is we build conversations around the identity of the woman, because there is so much that makes each of us up. We are all uniquely different, but we have so many things that make us the same. And when we are in communities where we can thrive, we flourish that we at a level that we were designed and created to flourish in. And so listen, 2021 is over. We have 28-ish days and it's over. And I wanted to share today just three things. I just have three topics to talk about today. 3 points that I want to help you understand as you get ready and you prepare for the season ahead. 2022 is going to be a doozy. It's going to be amazing. There are going to be blessings that are going to flow like never before, like the blessings of the Jesus Christ, the blessings of the Lord, they're going to flow. They're going to open up. They're going to open up doors and open up things and open up places. And it's going to be like a flood, like the dam has broken and you won't even have room enough to receive all that is before you, all that is in store for you. And so you have no other choice but to share. And you're going to feel good about sharing. And you're going to feel good about your journey ahead. But if you are afraid to go, if you are afraid to receive all those wonderful blessings because you are already anticipating and thinking how other people are going to receive you or talk about you because of your blessings, I want you to understand that it is fear that stops you. Before we can ever go and have a conversation with someone, many times it is us who operate in fear, right? We get an idea, we start expanding on it, and then we share it with one person. And that one person, it could be mom, dad, husband, brother, sister, boyfriend, whoever we share it with. And they can say one negative thing, and immediately we watch the thought, the idea, this $1 million product. You just don't know it yet. We washed it literally down a drain. 5 to 10 years later, you see that same idea in stores. And you said, I thought of that 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, some of you 20 years ago. But because of fear and the lack of faith, you threw that idea down. You no longer began to expand and expound on the work that you were given. Before we even go to somebody, we can wake up and trash ourselves by the negative talk and the negative thinking that we are constantly doing to ourselves. Some of you listening are overthinkers. There are detriments and there are great things that happen to people that overthink. I'm not an overthinker. I try really hard to be an overthinker. It just doesn't work. But some people who overthink to the detriment of themselves, it impacts them. You'll be a great project manager because you've thought of every out and in, anything that can go wrong. You have plan A through Z. You have it. You are excelling at work. But when it comes to your personal life and trying to apply that same methodology, you fall short and you fail because you overthought something. And those thoughts can become negative. There's a whole entire clothing brand that says thoughts become things. They literally become your reality. And so in the next 28-ish days, what is going to be your reality? And as you look at your reality, how does that relate to your future? Where are you going? Who is going to go with you? And who should you leave at the shore because they can't get on your boat? Because their fear is going to impact your faith. And so I want you to be conscious of who's in your circle today that should not be in your circle tomorrow. And it's okay. You can still have that relationship, but you won't be expounding or building on that relationship in the coming season. Because there's something that you have to do and they can't go with you because their fear impacts your faith. I want to operate. I'm going to operate in 2022 at a higher level than I've ever operated in my life. And so my sphere of influence and my circle is extremely small. It's like minuscule. It's very, very small for a reason because I don't need someone coming in and having their thoughts and opinions about my ideas, about the vision that God gave to me. And I need to strategically plan for that. And that is the process that I've been on for a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months at this point. And so as I continue to strategically plan, I have eliminated the people in my circle because I can't allow their overthinking or their negative thoughts or just one little thing that's going to make me change the course of where I'm supposed to go. I'm 100% sure that the path I'm on is what I'm supposed to be on. I have to limit my phone calls. I have to block a couple people, but I love them, right? I can't answer every text message. I'm not engaging in every email that comes because if it is not for where I'm going and I can't streamline it and bring it with me, then I cannot entertain it in my thought, in my head. What am I saying? I'm saying that when you become clear of where you're going and what you're doing and your vision and your purpose, when you become clear of who you are, when you wake up in the morning and your thoughts are no longer consumed with negative thoughts of you, but of positive ones, because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You were created for greatness. You are sure of where you're going, whether you are in your purpose or not. You are sure that you have a loving heart. You are sure that you are integrable. You are sure that you are honest. You are sure that if somebody gives you something, they can trust you with it to keep it, right? There are certain values and certain morals that you have that other people don't have. And because you know who you are and you are assured of who you are, you make sure that the people around you are able to put those same things and uplift you in those areas and keep you accountable in those areas, right? Because fear, the first point is fear immobilizes you. If you let that person or the person that's in your head, right, tell you that you're not good enough, you're never going to make it, everything that you think is wrong because you're overthinking, right? Or maybe you're not thinking enough and you don't have enough positivity in your brain and you have so much negativity that all you know is negative thoughts. And so you have to do that initial work in order to get to a place that you can begin to tell yourself positive thoughts. And if you can't get to that place every time you have a wonderful thought, every time you decide to go out for a job, every time you get dressed and you smile or you wake up in the morning, fear is going to immobilize you. It's going to stop you literally in your tracks from going to where you're supposed to go. In 28 days, you're supposed to be walking into your new season. What does that look like? It may look like a storm for somebody, right? It may look like, oh, I can't believe that hell is broke loose in my life and it's only January 1st, 2022. Some of it may look like chaos. Some of it may look like a whirlwind, but it's still a part of your season and you must walk through that storm in order to get to the other side, in order for God to build that capacity in you, teach you what you're supposed to learn in that season that opens you up to all the treasures and the blessings that you're supposed to endure, that you're supposed to have. You are a lender and not a borrower. So when someone comes to you and they are in dire need, you don't have to worry or feel bad that you can't aid or assist them or not answer your phone because you're not giving them anything, right? But because you have so much and because you're so blessed and because you have done what you were supposed to do and you have canceled out fear with your faith, God rewards you for that. There's obedience, there's blessings in your obedience. If God gives you an instruction and you're supposed to cancel out fear with your faith and change cities, change jobs, start a relationship, end a relationship, right? Platonic or intimate, whatever that is, there's a blessing in that obedience. So the second point is if you don't do it, right? You just stay in fear. One is going to immobilize you and lock your entire body up. And a second thing is going to do, because you're fearful and you won't make that next move and you won't go ahead and fill out the application, reevaluate your resume or go ahead and change your diet. Go ahead and start making a plan to exercise and doing 5 minutes day by day until you've built up a capacity. And before you know it, you are literally physically changing, right? It takes plan, it takes strategy, but it also takes faith into believing that it's going to happen. And so if you believe it's going to happen, you have to do the work to make it happen. So if you don't do the work, what happens? We spin our wheels, we go around in circles, we come up with another idea, right? We come up with another plan because we are afraid to work the plan that we've been given. There are times when people literally come into your life to literally help you create a plan and a strategy. They're called counselors and therapists and support groups just to make it, tangible for you. And you literally decide after that session, I'm not going back. I did 6 weeks, I'm good. I may take some of their tips and coping mechanisms. I may apply it to my life, or maybe I won't. And then you're done, right? But you've never advanced or excelled. You haven't grown yet because you decided to abort the mission early. You decided to end the course. So what happens after that? 6 months to a year later, you have to start over again. And because you haven't grown, because your mind state is still primarily in the same space, you have to go through that cycle again, canceling out fear with your faith. And it's a whole year later, everybody has grown. You've grown physically, but you have not grown spiritually or mentally, right? And so you end up in the same place. You ever look at people that are older, some of your aunts and some of your uncles, or just people in your neighborhood, just people that you've grown up with, and you say, man, you would think that they would know better about that situation. That's something that you learn when you're 16, and this person is 56 years old, and they don't know how to do that. They can't manage their money. They can't budget. They can't keep an apartment. They always need a couch to sleep on. You ever seen people like that? It's because they're they were so fearful that every time they started, they stopped. They aborted the mission and they wasted time. Something you were supposed to learn at 16, you don't learn until you're in your 50s. And you've wasted 30 years stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So what will you do in the last 28-ish days? What plan will you put together so that this time when you start, you do not abort the mission early. You do not stop. You do not quit. You do not waste time because you can't get it back and it's too valuable to waste. And the last thing is stress. When you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, when you keep letting fear run your life instead of you run fear out of your life, it causes stress, anxiety, depression. And at the end of all of that, whether it's 10 minutes, 10 years, 3 decades, guess what? You still are going to have to get some type of help, some type of counseling, some type of therapy. You're still going to need a support group. You're still going to need a team of people around you to help pull you up because the reality is you can't do it by yourself, right? Faith without works is dead, but you still have to do the work. And it may take you 30 years to get the faith, but why waste 30 years? Because when you look back over those 30 years and you finally wake up, you're going to realize you wasted 30 years. You wasted time in your children and your grandchildren's life. You wasted so much time in your life that now you're starting over from square one, like you are a teenager starting your first job, instead of being a seasoned adult individual who operated and exercised their faith and have been opened up to the abundance that they are supposed to receive. May 2022 be the year of influence, right? May it be the year of prosperity. May it be the year of overflow of treasures and blessings and goodness, right? May it be a year that it rains un like it never stops raining, and not the physical rain, but the rain of God, that it rains over and over and he just showers you with all the blessings that he has already said that were yours before he even knew you, right? Before you were even created, right? Because he knew you, but before you were even created, those blessings are yours. But you were born into a situation and life got the best of you. But now you have the opportunity to get out. You got 28 days to do something different, to create a plan. I'm not telling you to go and open a business. I'm not telling you to jump out the window. I'm not telling you to go buy a new car. But I am telling you that use the next 28 days to create a plan, to strategize, and then get some help because You cannot do it on your own. And you need another set of eyes to look at where you're trying to go, because maybe they've been there. Maybe they can help you stretch that plan a little further and put some mini steps in between so that you don't fall and you don't stop again and then start next year, December 2022, right? Remember, we have a past, we have a memory for a reason. And think of it like, I did that before. I stopped, I started, I stopped, I started, I quit, I failed, I gave up, I started again. May this be the year that you don't stop, that you accelerate and you operate at your full capacity. So those are my 3 points. Cancel out fear with your faith, because if you don't, it's going to immobilize you. It's going to cause you stress and anxiety, and it's going to waste your life, because time in your life you cannot get back. Forgiveness, yes. Love, yes. Friendships, yes. Relationships, yes. But time, you cannot. You get money back. You can go bankrupt, live in a cardboard box, but you can get your money back. But time you cannot get back. So I hope that that was a help for you today. I hope that you will join me next Thursday as we continue to walk out the last couple of days of 2022 and get some more strategy and to just really hone in on how we're going to steward well over our time in 2022 and the next years to come and for the rest of this decade. Let's prepare now for the rest of the decade, right? Because there's legacy in you. There's something inside of you that the world needs. And if you don't move now, we will never have it. But somebody else is going to get that idea in 10 years. And they're going to have your millions. And all you're going to have is a whole lot of wasted time, stress, anxiety. So I see you again. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Identity of a Woman podcast. And if you or someone you know is suffering in an abusive relationship or a sexual assault, or having been violated in some type of way and need to escape and need to be safe, please dial 800-799 safe to help get safety plans, to strategize. If you are in immediate danger, absolutely dial 911. But if you need help, you need to be strategized. You need to find an agency in your area. Dial 800-799 SAFE. Do not hesitate. Do not be afraid. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time on the Identity of a Woman podcast.